All right, so we are starting right away for our first diet of the year. The diet is training and development program for professionals. I know over time, of course, I've been training. So there's something that TRCM says that they are teachers and they are professional teachers. So there are trainers and there are professional trainers. All right, so this training is to make us to be professionals in what we do. This training is to make us to be training professionals. And anybody can teach. You know, in our houses, we teach, but we don't actually train, because training is a systematic thing that we do. So without wasting of our time, we're going to start with the first module, which is overview of training and development. This will be taken by Mr. Ebruche Banito. All right, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And welcome everyone to this wonderful meeting this morning. Please, for those of us online, we need to confirm that you are hearing us. Please, if you can hear us loud and clear, kindly type 1 in the chat room so that we can all be together. If you can hear us loud and clear, please kindly type 1 in the chat room. All right. So thank you for typing 1 in the chat room. So whatever thing we are going to be doing offline, we are going to be doing the same online. For our online coordinator, we have Mr. Chike Naman. So he's the one that will be muting and unmuting you should you have questions, and then admit those who are coming in. For our offline coordinator, we have Mr. Ken Lukafo. And this training this morning is a wonderful training. Please help me give everyone a copy. I was discussing with our assistant registrar this morning, and I said some people feel like training and development is not as important as maybe project management or what do you call it now, human resource management and all of that. So when you say training and development, it's like that's not my field. I don't want to go in that area, but people want to consult. If you ask someone who is a project management professional now, would you want to train someone who will tell you yes, provided it will add more money? Okay, but we don't really want to learn the art of training and development. So in this course, we are going to be learning the art, the science, the mastery of training and development course. That's what we want to do in this course. Okay, the course is into 2 levels. We have level 1, which is the associate, giving us more fundamentals, the standards, the codes that we need to put into place while training. And then the second one is more of the application. Like CMD, we say the associate is the what, and then the lead is the how. So why level 1 gives us all of the content of what we need to know about training and development, how we need to go about it. The other level of the advanced tells us how we're going to go about applying all of what we've learned. Okay. Now, I must say also that when it comes to training and development, there's a whole lot of difference when compared to the normal training or the normal education that we have. And by the time we're done, we'll find that there's actually a big difference. And one of the major differences we have when, in terms of training and development versus the educational system we have is that training and development is often an adult-based learning. But education is general to everybody. Children, adults, teenagers, anybody can be educated. But for training and development, is mostly an adult-based training or adult-based education program. And that means that the kind of system and structure that we use in the traditional educational system will not be the same to apply in this same version. So the same will not apply here. So what we're basically going to learn is when you go to organizations to train, having the understanding that you're training adults, what kind of system should you use? What kind of structure should you use? What kind of environment should you create? Okay, and then the training system is not a push. What do I mean? The adults come to you for what they want to learn, not about what you want to teach them. In the traditional educational system, contents, curriculum are created to be pushed to the people. Whether it's what you want or not is none of the concern of the lecturer or the teacher. But when it comes to training and development, it's more of pull. The adult comes to you because he wants to learn a particular something. And if you don't teach him that he wants to learn, any other thing you're teaching is none of his business. Okay? Now, another important thing we must also bear in mind when it comes to training and development is there's one keyword they call attention. Attention. In the traditional educational system, attention is first. Whether you like it or not, you must pay attention. But to the training and development environment, the trainer has the role to get the attention of the adults. An adult is not someone that sits in a place and his mind is in one place. An adult is someone who sits in one place, but his mind could be 100 places at once. So to get his attention or to get him to learn, you must first of all get his attention. Okay, you must first of all get his attention. So some of these things are the things we have to put into consideration as we learn about training and development. Now, I would like us to share before we proceed. I trust the people online. I trust you could see my screen. I trust you could see my screen. So let me reshare to avoid that. I'm not seeing. So those of us online, I trust you could see my screen. Please, if you could see my screen, kindly indicate by typing 00 so that we can all be on the same page. If you can see my screen, kindly indicate by typing 00. All right, thank you. Okay, so we are going to do something very, very simple this morning. Please, Mr. Jason, if you don't mind, kindly come closer so that we can. Look at what is on the screen and then let's solve it and get the answer. Please look at what is on the screen, solve the answer, and let's have your answer, please. So let's have your answer. The 2 plus 2 divided by 2 times 2 minus bracket 2 of 2 equal to. Please, if you have the answer, let us know. Please, if you have your answer, let's have it in the chat room. Okay, from Mr. Shaibu. Mr. Shaibu said the answer is 0. Okay, let's find out from others. Please, if you have your answer, let us know. We have 15 people already in class, so at least let's get 10 answers. 2 plus 2 divided by 2 multiplied by 2 minus bracket 2 of 2. Please, if you have your answer, let's know. Apart from Mr. Shaik, any other person that has an answer? You have an answer, sir? Zero. Okay. So someone in class also is having zero. Well, let's find out. Any other person who has another answer? Who has another answer? We are waiting for answers. Please kindly solve. I know we are not all mathematicians, but please try to get us the answer. Are you serious? Okay. So Dr. Taiwo said zero. So we have 3 zeros. Ishmael said zero. Okay, so for those of us that said zero, what method did you use in arriving at zero? What method did you use to arrive? Okay, so someone in class said board mass. Okay, for those of us online, what method did you use? What method did you use in arriving at the answer? Okay, so Mr. Jesse said board mass. Okay. Did anybody use any other thing? Did you use any other strategy? Okay, so should I go with only board mass? Mr. Ishmael, how did you arrive at zero? What method did you use? Dr. Taiwo, what method did you use? Mr. Ahmed, what method did you use? We are waiting for answer. Okay, so Mr. Shaibu said arithmetic. Okay, so whichever one we used, our assignment was just to get the attention of everyone and be sure that we are all in one piece. So whether you got zero or you got one or you got any other thing, that's not really primarily what we're looking for. What we want to do is to make sure that everyone's attention is in the class. Now, quickly, let's look at the outline of what we are going to be learning today. The outline of what we are going to be learning today. The outline of what we're going to be learning today. The first course is overview. And in the overview, we are going to be looking at the introduction, the views on training and development. They'll have training and development process, then training methods, categories of training and development skills and competencies. They'll have class activity, and have question and answer series. They'll have conclusion. So this is the first class of today. By introduction, let's quickly look at the learning objectives, then we can move to introduction. The learning objective is that by the end of this training, or by the end of this session, participants will be able to review the concept of training and development, review the concepts as individual, review the concepts in organizations, review the concepts in empowerment programs, specialized programs, review the concept wherever training and development is being mentioned. That's what we want to do. Review all of the concepts. All right. Then another important thing is that by the end of the training, participants will be able to determine the essence of management development. Okay. What is the essence of management development? There are 2 keywords in training and development. The first one is training, and the second one is development. Anytime you hear of training, it's basically talking about employee training, job-based capacity development. Okay, that's what we'll normally talk about. Then when you talk about development, we talk about management development. And when we talk about management development, we're talking about the continuous process that helps organizations to build managers, build executives, build competent supervisors that can help them manage their organizations. So there are 2 keywords there. The first one is basically about general employee development or general personal development, while the other one of development is talking about management development. It also talks more about the consulting side of training and development. So if you want to deal with training only, then you could only be talking about general trainings, soft skill training, technical training, professional trainings, and all of that. But if you want to now talk about the development part of it, then you're talking about executive development, coaching, mentoring, succession planning, corporate management, board management, and all of that. All of us could be trainers, but we have trainers in different capacities. We have trainers who do training for a certain group of people, maybe for SMEs. We have others who do training for youth. So we have those who do training for maybe community trainings, like we normally have what we call the empowerment trainings. Okay. Then we have those that we call the top class coaches. Coaches are still trainers, but the only difference we have with them when it comes to normal trainers is that coaches deal more with the executive level of development. So by the end of this training, you should also be able to determine for yourself, are you going to be running the general training or are you going to be running the executive-based training? So when you look at people, for instance, in Nigeria, when you look at people like Philador, they don't train everybody. They have a class of people they train. Okay, there's another man they call Mr. Okoli. He's a leadership trainer. He trains House of Rep members, senators, and all of that. So his training is not everybody's training. There is another young man I've seen delving more into management development. Akin Alabi, Naira Bets. Akin Alabi, right? Akin. Okay. Okay. So he's a House of Rep member. But if he has a consulting firm, apart from the Naira Bets, he has a consulting firm. Now his consulting firm deals more with management development. Okay. He did a training that he said only 5 people attended. The first time it was only 2 people that attended. And that training was for one person for 5 million for 1 day. Okay, I said only 2 people attended. Now, the second time he did the training, 5 people attended. So those kind of training, they can take, one person can take care of the whole training cost. But you must have veritable information, vital information that you want to share with such caliber of people. Take, for instance, people like Warren Buffett. Yes, they are world-class stockbrokers. But at the same time, they are executive coaches. Someone was willing to pay $5 million to have a lunch with Warren Buffett. And when they asked him, why would you want to do so? He said, because he knows after he's gone out from there, within the next 1 hour, he will make more than that. Okay, so when people go into training and development, they need to have their own areas of focus. Why some do blended programs? They do general trainings, at the same time they do executive coaching. Like in IPM, we have general trainings, we have executive trainings. All right. So when you come to training, you should be able to determine the essence of management development. And then finally, you should be able to justify training and development process for any organization, big, small, medium, or large. You should be able to do what? Justify training and development process for any organization. You know, most organizations feel that training is a cost item. Most organizations, they feel like training is a cost item. They don't want to pay attention to it because they feel like, what will be the return on investment if I should put this volume of money in this staff? What will be the return on investment? Okay. So some of us view it as cost item, is an expensive adventure to go into. Okay, but those that understand the purpose of training and development are making the most of it. Okay, they are making the most of it. So before we proceed, we would like to have your view. What is training and development like in your organization? What is training and development like in your organization? So let me start with my in-class people. Please, you can feel free to unmute your video. Let's see you as you talk. And then you can put on your mic. Okay, so if you have something to say, just kindly raise your hand and then we will unmute you. And then you can always ask or say what you want to say. Just tell us what is training and development like in the organization. All right, sir. Let's have it. Please feel free, go ahead. Okay. We should forget it. Okay. All right, sir. What is it like in your organization?
For my organization, it's
Let's put you on. Unmute now. Please go ahead and unmute. Go ahead, sir.
okay.
Are you okay? Go ahead.
My organization is usually very political. It depends on how close we are to the bosses, because to be honest with you, the amount of money that's usually dedicated to training is usually very small, and we are more than 500 in the organization. So depending on how close you are to the bosses, you will be nominated for training. Other than that, you have to go on your own.
Training as a very good tool for success.
Yes, it's enshrined in our performance development plans. Every year you're supposed to put it in your development plan, and your line manager has to approve it. But the getting funding for it is usually where the issue usually arises.
Okay. All right. So let's hear from both of us. So let's know, what is training and development in your organization like? Let's hear from Mr. Ishmael. Please go ahead, sir. Mr. Ishmael.
All right. Good morning to everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. In my organization, training is very key, important thing to everyone, regardless of your performance or regardless of your position that you have. We select people based on how or the position you occupy, and that almost every year or every 2 years, the training is being organized by the management for every staff. Even if you are at a level, there's some kind of training they will provide for you to have the vision of the company, where the company is going, how you want to drive the company. So if you are in a management position, then they'll also put you there, and then or they'll give you a training. Then you know how the company want to drive the organization to this level. So the training in every organization is very essential, and we need to take it very, very important, because all of us graduated from universities or polytechnics with our classroom teaching and learnings or lecturing notes. When you go to organization, there's a different thing altogether they do in organization. And before you can understand what organization is doing, you have to go through their training. You have to understand the system they are practicing and their policies in every or in the organization. Thank you.
Okay, so anybody willing to share more about your organization? Can you tell us how your organization run when it comes to training? Yes, I just unmuted. Okay, can someone help us? What is training and development like in your organization? Do we have a department of training and development or learning and development in your organization? If yes, what are their roles? Who manages such department? Anyone? Okay, so from Falasha Day, he said no, they don't have such in the organization. Okay, so maybe the organizational experience might not be there. Your silence is telling us to proceed without having to know your experience. Okay, so another thing I will tell us about training and development is that when we come to training and development, it's all about interaction. Okay, remember I said why the educational system is everybody's opportunity. Training and development is mostly adult-based. And the adult-based is about ensuring that people have the capacity to do their work. So it's more of skill-based development. Okay, it's all about skill-based development so as to suit to a particular job or role. All right. Now, that being said, we have to put at the back of our mind that whenever we come to train people, we should not ever imagine that they are novice in what they are coming to learn. Some of them might be more experienced than you, but they only came to sharpen, communicate, interact, and maybe find out if there are newer things they can tap into. Okay, so when you come for a training as a trainer, never you think that, oh, I'm the one in charge. Yes, you are in charge, but don't, your experience might be too small compared to some people in the class. Okay, so with that premise, I would like us to have a full interaction, a full interactive house going forward. All right. Okay, thank you. So from Mr. Jason, he said the HR handles it in his organization. Okay, so let's proceed from introduction. Human capital and human resource development is the key factor for enterprise competitiveness and survival in market-oriented economies. Not just the market-oriented economies, in the economy of today. Human capital development and human resource development, they have formed the two competitive advantage. The organizations that stand out as high-performing or A+ organizations, that's their winning tool. Okay, that's their winning tool. Any organization that you see that plays lazy when it comes to training and development is always a lazy organization. Okay, but when you see organization that training and development is key, is rudimented in their operations, is part of their fiber and fabric, they always get to be agile. Okay, some times ago, I had a meeting at Globacom, and the meeting was to be with the HR department. We had to host the training for them before COVID came. Then while we were there, they now brought the head of training to be part of the discussion. And then while we were discussing, we went to train them on project management. On getting there, they said, no, they have, everybody here is certified. That if as they are bringing you in as a new staff, they already have in-house facilitators that will train you. So you don't need to bother, except you want to now go and write for exam, you can go and pay for that. But if it is training, you have capable hands who have both on-the-job experience and off-the-job knowledge to put you through. And then when you look at people like Globacom, we could say maybe one of the reasons why they are still alive is because they pay attention to learning and development. Else, maybe they could have folded up like others. Okay. An organization obtains results when every staff contributes his or her task as component of its human capital or human resource. Tasks vary in complexity and requirements across organizations, from top management to middle management to low-level management. Organization, different tasks. You have those doing tactical tasks, you have those doing functional tasks, you have those doing strategic tasks. At executive level, you're running strategic operations. At middle level, you're running functional operations. At low level, you're running tactical operations. Now, if I take the training of a supervisor or a manager and then go and give it to a low-level staff, that training, no matter how impressive, how loaded it is, will be useless for that person. If I take executive training and go and deliver and apply it, because they've not grown into that position of knowing how to apply those knowledge. So tasks vary. And because tasks vary, training also varies. All right. Required competency to perform tasks. Tasks form the basis for recruitment, selection, placement, and promotion, of course. Training and development are critical to get all of these things done. Get the tasks done, selection, promotion, placement, and all of that. They are all required. Now, the purpose of management training and development is to develop more competent and more effective managers and leaders. Now, as you get on learning about training and development, you find out that you're either training managers or you're training leaders, whether you like it or yes. Even the one we call specialized program, intervention program, is either you're training an upcoming manager or you're training an upcoming leader. Those are the two categories of people that training and development will always bring out. It's either you're bringing a manager or you're bringing a leader, or you're bringing someone that is now a blend of the two. Okay. Now, training and development is a structured program with different methods designed by professionals in particular job. Whether you are a doctor, medical doctor, or whether you are in the medical practitioner, agri practitioner, education, engineering, whether, no matter the profession you are, training and development is always there. Training and development is like project management. Training and development professionals is like project management. It gives you the standards, the codes on how you are to operate in your own field. So you are a supply chain professional. When you go to talk about supply chain, you will not talk about supply. Okay, you will not talk about supply chain as an engineer. You will talk about supply chain as a supply chain professional. If you're a medical doctor and you have training for medical practitioners, you will not come and be talking like someone who doesn't know about medicine. Before you go into training and development, you must have your basic education. Did you get it now? So if you're a medical doctor and you now end up as a training consultant, that means you will focus on medical consulting. If you are into management development, then you focus on management consulting. If you're into agriculture, you focus on agricultural consulting. But the same principles of training and development applies to all fields. Okay, the same way you develop training proposal for medical is the same way you develop training proposal for education. It's the same way you develop training proposal for entrepreneurship program. It's the same way you develop training proposal maybe for disabled, special people. Okay, so it has become most common and continuous task in any organization for updating skills and knowledge of employees in accordance with changing environment. One of the essence of training is because of changing environment. Keep updating our skills, keep updating our knowledge, keep updating our competencies to meet up with changing environment. Before COVID, nobody bothered much about digital economy, but now digital economy, we have even created tasks now for you have value-added tasks. If you are subscribing on Facebook now, maybe you want to do advert now, they'll say include your task identification number.
I also that last week.
Okay.
I was worried that if Facebook started, that is your advert.
Of course. Okay, so now those things we considered as not being part of the economy, they are now becoming major. I was in a conference, national conference, digital economy conference, was the 49th one or so. Now the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy said something. He said, if not that the president is the Minister of Petroleum, they would have categorically said that the most buoyant economy now is the digital economy. And there is no lying about it. The digital economy is the economy that has given everybody opportunity. Everybody, I mean everybody from anywhere. So the largest population of employed people now are in the digital economy. Okay, but before COVID, who cares? Now we have a class of 25 people. I'll have 3 people in class. And some of these people are in Abuja. Okay, so these are some of the reasons why. Now, did you notice that some organizations actually started before COVID, but immediately COVID, even the office of the president was using Zoom for their meeting. Before COVID, who cared? House of Rep will now, House of Senate, they will now sit in their houses and be doing the Senate meeting from Zoom. Before the COVID, who cared? That's to tell us that the training and development helps to adjust to changing times. Of course, before the president could learn how to use Zoom, somebody must have taught him. And maybe just for, don't worry, just leave it. It's not even important. Maybe just for coming to his office now and show you how to use it now, they would have paid the person maybe 100 million. Okay, 100 million is too much. Let's say 10 million. But you know, the president can develop a budget of 100 million to learn how to use it. Okay. Of course, it happens.
If snake didn't swallow it.
At least that one is justifiable. Okay, somebody told me that they have a project of almost 100 million now to clear the grass at National Stadium. Okay. And he said, just give me 5 million out of the 100 million, I will clear the grass.
From National Stadium.
Yes.
Which of the National Stadium? Doesn't matter because the National Stadium is under the worship of the land.
Okay. Yes, I think I
was in that meeting. I remember.
I've been there. I've seen Dangote people around there.
Yes. And
but I've seen their one letter too.
Aaron Construction is renovating the whole stadium. And what happened was that, sorry, this is all.
No, you can put your mic so that everybody will hear you.
Because I belong to the new youth policy for Nigeria.
Okay.
The minister Sunday wanted that the government are paying so much in keeping the stadiums alive. He's going to talk to prominent Nigeria.
Okay.
That you can take care of this stadium as long as you want to maintain it and everything. And he spoke to some of them, 3 of them responded. And was going to renovate the stadium. Then Kensington promised to renovate on government. Some of those who are, and we are the National Stadium when we launched. I was part of that committee that launched it.
I was actually in the stadium that day when they were launching that thing.
So one of the that that one.
But I've seen the award letter. Clearing and fumigation. Okay, so training is changing things. Okay, training is changing a whole lot of things. And then if you look at Africa, you find that also one of the major areas that training is trying to enhance the competencies of people is in the area of entrepreneurship, in the area of SMEs. There is a whole lot of intervention programs going on there. And before any intervention program will close, there must be training. There must be one kind of training to help the people understand more of what the whole project is all about. Understand what the outcomes, the expected outcomes, what they should look like. Okay, so it is essential that training and development comes to play in a time as this. And us getting to be well-grounded as training and development professionals, it helps us in keeping things in check. It helps us in keeping things in check. Now, I was sharing the other day, I said, it took me like 8 years before I decided to take this course. Why? Because I feel like I've done project management, I've done virtually everything. So what's this all about? Year 1, I would do it. Year 2, year 3. Before I know it, the thing just went, and it was not choking on my neck. I said, let me just go and do it. I just went into that class for just going sick. Not that there was any space. Yes.
To fulfill all righteousness.
Just to fulfill all righteousness. But I tell you the truth. The first lecture, I said, no. There's something we are missing here. Okay. I told myself, I said, no, I've not been doing it right. I've been a trainer, but I've not been doing it right. And my mentor, Dr. Larry, he once told me something. He said, one thing about knowledge is that if a business person, especially those who are into consulting, there is a point that you learn some new things that you will now sit back, and if you are not careful, you can close down your business and tell yourself you are cheating people. Okay, so for those of us who are coming in, especially those of us who are prospering to go into training and development, this is the best time to learn about training and development. Then for those of us who are already there, by the time we are done, you will find the difference between what you've been doing versus what you need to do. Because these standards are global standards. Okay, they are global standards. Now, optimization of cost with available resources has become pressing need for every organization, which will be possible only by way of improving efficiency and productivity of employees. Possible only by way of providing proper employee training and development condition to that it should be provided by professionals. So if you want to achieve efficiency, effectiveness, high level productivity, building reputation and brand within the organization, then you must find a way to optimize your resources to meet up that particular need. Okay, you must find a way to meet up that particular need. I went through the national budget. I wish we will have the time to go through the Nigerian national budget. If you check the national budget, trillions of naira are made available for training and development. But the question is, how are they being appropriated? Okay, maybe you see a particular agency now, they say the training there is maybe 250 million for the year. And then at the end of the day, by the time you're doing a budget evaluation, to make sure that that money does not return back to federal government, they not give anyhow. They just call one or two consultants. Can you do this? Can you do that? Bring your proposal, bring your proposal, bring your proposal. And then they divide the money among 3 people. Just go and train. Whether there is result or not is not their concern. And that's why the Center for Management Development in Nigeria has become mandatory that if you must be a public servant or public service consultant in the area of training, you must have passed through this program. Yeah, that one is a must. So even if someone calls you and say, come and take this training as a favor, yes, you receive it as a favor, but at the same time, you know what you're going to do to make it right. Okay, that's one of the beauty of all of this whole thing. Now, let's quickly look at some definitions. Training and development as a word is the continuous process of improving skills, gaining knowledge, clarifying concepts, and changing attitude through structured and planned education by which the productivity and performance of the employees can be enhanced. So look at the whole thing there. Number one is that training and development is a continuous process, and then it's centered at improving skills, gaining knowledge, clarifying concepts, and more importantly too, changing attitudes. Changing attitudes. Before you fire anybody in an organization, it's expected that you would have tried to do some ethical-based training, some sensitivity training towards the person's behavior. If the person after the training does not change, it's to some point a remediative process to reduce downsizing. It's a remediative process to reduce sacking, unnecessary relieving of people of their jobs. Okay. Now, training and development emphasize on the improvement of the performance of individuals as well as group through a proper system within the organization, which focuses on the skills, methodology, and content required to achieve the objective. Every training has an objective. Every training must have an objective. Before I took this training, I run trainings without objective. So let's assume I'm training project manager. I just pick on the one. We start talking about it. What am I expected to see at the end of the day that will make me believe that yes, I've really impacted? I don't know, and it doesn't concern me. The person that is even taking the training, it doesn't concern him, he doesn't care. But there's one thing with objective. As soon as objective is set, it guides both the trainer and the trainee. So the trainer can say, okay, at the end of this training, this is what we want to see. The trainee at the end of the day can tell you, I saw this one, or I saw this one, I didn't see this one. You can, within a twinkle of an eye, you can evaluate the whole learning process. And then you can now justify whether there was an outcome or perhaps an output that will generate an outcome in the future. As it were, I will repeat this again. Every training is meant to satisfy a particular objective. Every training. Now, the objective of this training, as it were now, is not to make you a trained professional. It's not to get you certified. The objective number one is to equip you with the necessary skills, knowledge, competency, standard, codes you need to practice as a training and development professional. That's the most important thing. If at the end of the day, you cannot boast of the skill, you cannot boast of the competency, you cannot boast of the knowledge, you cannot boast of the expected character or behavior as a trainer, then you just got that knowledge. You were not trained, you just came for it. So it's important that every training must have objective. Every training, whether it is a workshop, a seminar, a conference, a section, a lecture, it must have an objective. You know, we have a course. I think that course will be taken tomorrow. Setting objectives. Yeah? It's not about just okay. Now they say we should set objective. And I say executive leadership development workshop for directors. Objective to train directors on executive leadership development. That is not objective, that's a statement. Okay? That is not justifiable. That cannot be evaluated. Okay, but when you say, now what is about objective is that objectives are actionable. Remember that training and development are resolved. If the training is, by the end of this training, the participant should drink the water. If the participant drinks the water by the end of the training, yes, the objective is achieved. But if he did not drink the water and he starts arguing with you, the objective is yet to be accomplished. And this is one of the basic differences when we talk about the traditional education and then training and development. In the traditional education, we don't talk about objective, whether it's achieved or not. Does it mean that there are no objectives? There are actually objectives. When you go to scheme of work, you see that there are learning objectives for each topic, right? But the lecturer does not care. The student, the teacher does not bother, and the student doesn't even know how to evaluate themselves, whether they actually. So it is the teacher that does the training. It is the teacher that does the evaluation. So. Who is that? Is the judge? She's not the judge and the jury. Okay, but in a training and development, no, you give me the objective. In fact, in most cases, it's the objective that drops training. So they come to learn what they really want to learn, not what you want to teach them. What you want to teach them is not their concern. They want to learn what they read, that thing bothering them in their mind. That's what they want to learn. Now, you are giving them schedule of work, then you give them objectives. They are now balanced. Yes, I think with this objective, I will be good. At the end of the day, your whole training did not talk about the objective. There was no correlation between the objective and what is delivered. And then you now tell the person, sir, sir, we are sorry, your lunch will not be ready today. Number one, you didn't get what he came for. Number two, the one that he wants to use and console himself.
You are not supplying.
You are now trying to, the one that he thinks should be the most realistic objective. Okay, so just by way of trying to get us to understand, by the time we take the training and development of training objectives tomorrow, you will understand how it should be. Sometimes before now, or before I took this training, if I wanted to develop a training and development objective, I'll say, by the end of the training, participants will understand what is. That is not an objective.
What understand?
It's not an objective. Then when I say, by the end of this training, the trainee should or would, those keywords, should or would, are not permitted in learning objective. One thing about learning and development is that it is something you want to see the effects now. So we use will. By the end of the training, the trainee will do this, will practice this, will. So at the end of the day, it's something he's ready to go on doing immediately. Okay, so every training and development should have an objective, all right? Should have an objective. Now, training needs analysis is a systematic process of identifying which kind of training is required and provide the details related to training implementation. It is also known as a tool to identify the new skills and knowledge and attitudes which employees need to acquire in order to improve performance. Now, before you do any training and development program, there's what we call training needs analysis, TNA, training needs analysis. How do you know that for top management, this is the kind of training they should do this year? There must have been a training needs analysis. Training needs analysis is like feasibility study. Having a system that reviews the competencies, the skills, the knowledge, the attitudes of different workers at different levels, and then we'll be able, through the facts that we present to you, can now be able to say, okay, for top level, we think this training should be okay for them, based on the training needs analysis, or based on the skills gap identified, based on the behavior gap identified, based on the things identified, you should be able to say, okay, this is what should be done. In most organizations, their training needs analysis is only what is being submitted to them, maybe by an external consultant. Like now, we've drafted the 2022 training curriculum or training calendar. By the time we start sending it out, it becomes the outcome of some people's training needs analysis. Now, the impact of that is that if training analysis is not done before training, okay, there is a possibility that the trainees or the participants in the training will not have a good output from the whole training experience. For the sake of confidentiality, I've been in trainings where we had top people from organizations, top organizations. One, why did you come to the training, sir? My organization does not give certificate. We've already done this, but they don't give certificate. Then, number two, this training you're doing now, what effect will it bring to your organization? It's just part of the things we must do. So, what is the impact of the training when you go back? Well, the HR need to know. He asked us to go for the training. We don't even know why we are doing this training. So, training needs analysis is a 360 degrees program. Okay, get to know from low-level management. After all, you have identified the ones that are okay. So, what kind of training all the heads of departments should give us? What kind of training do you think your staff need? The ones under you, the directors will coordinate that of the heads, and then if there is an MD, managing director, executive director, he now collects all of this information, and then from there, the HR can now prepare detailed training calendar for the organization. Remember, every training objective is set to meet a business objective. Please, I want us to put that in mind. Every training objective is targeted towards meeting a business objective. Every training objective is targeted towards meeting a business objective. Every training objective is targeted towards meeting a business objective. It could be business objective in terms of marketing. It could be business objective in terms of profit, improving profit. It could be business objective in terms of increasing profitability or productivity. There must be an organizational need that will drive training objective. So there is a direct correlation. And suffice it to say that one of the critical reasons why some organizations don't value training and development is because the training does not have correlation to the problem on ground. You sent your staff for training, then they came back, they cannot solve the problem on ground. So why are you wasting? Okay, why are you spending your money? Let me not say waste. Okay, I was in a training, and this woman came from a national hospital. I went for a training on contract management and procurement. The title was so lovely. So I said, we've done a whole lot about project management. Let's go and look at contract management and procurement. First of all, when we got there was nothing contract about that training. Then secondly, the procurement was just the Procurement Act 2003, amended in 2007. So at the end of the day, the woman that came from that national travel distance to come to Abuja for training. She now asked the coordinator of the program, who is also, he asked him, I said, I can develop a procurement plan for my organization. So if I go back now, what will I tell them? And it was a 10-day program. So in 10 days, we didn't learn anything about procurement strategy, procurement principles, procurement plan, execution of procurement administration. We learned nothing. The only thing we learned was development of bidding documents from the one to the final day. When I asked those people, I said, your topic said contract management, contract and procurement management. But where is the contract? It said in this light, the contract there is a procurement document. I said, okay, if I had my way, I would have collected my money back. Okay, so what am I trying to say in essence? We need to have an adequate training needs analysis report that will justify that, yes, this training will satisfy this need. At the end of the day, the executive director of that particular institute told the program director or program coordinator that he should work with the woman to see how they can develop a procurement plan for the hospital. I said, after 10 days. So is it that every year you'll not be working with her to develop the plan? This is something she traveled distance from, I think it was from Kaduna. No, not Kaduna. Yes, Zaria. From Zaria to Abuja, spent 10 days in a hotel. Your company paid and paid for a feeding, but I've spent training allowance too. So to avoid all those pitfalls, it's good we conduct training needs analysis. An effective training and development initiative based on training needs analysis helps the company to enhance the skills of working manpower and improve productivity. Now, quickly, let's look at the difference between training and development. Like I said, though they go hand in hand, but there are differences. Not too broad difference, but there are differences. Now, number one of that difference is that training on its own is short-term with concrete goals. In fact, short-term, concrete and actionable goals. Concrete and actionable goals, that's training. It is short-term with concrete and actionable. As you're getting done with the training, you should have the impact of the training should start working. Okay, the impact of the training should what? Should start working. That's what that means. Now, for development, it is long-term with open-ended and ongoing goals. For development, it is open-ended and long-term, ongoing goals. Take, for instance, executive development is not something that is prompt. Trainings on executive development are not prompt. Let's say you're building managers to take up top-level position. You don't expect them to start taking up top-level position immediately they are done, or start acting as top-level people as soon as they are done. But they continually work themselves or get coached, mentored into that phase. Okay? Then another thing is that training focuses on role. Training focuses on role. It focuses on the job. It focuses on the job role, the tasks that are to be done. Okay, so let's assume, sir, that your office now is, you are the head of training and development. This particular thing we're doing now is key for you. As soon as you go back, you can easily go and review your training and development program. In fact, as you're even learning, you are sitting and reviewing them, deciding on what next step to take. That is actionable, instant. Okay, but let's assume that you want to walk into the capacity of training and development director in your firm. Eh? Whatever you'll be doing now will be suggestions and recommendations till you enter that position. Do you get it now? So one focuses on the role, while the other, the development focuses on the person. Character, competency, skills, capacity, constantly building it for the future role. Okay, constantly building it for the future role. Okay, so while development is focusing, training is focusing on the role or the job, development is focusing on the person, the person. Then training aims at a specific job or role requirement, maybe as part of recruitment, placement, promotion, and all of that. But training or development is more conceptual and focuses on the overall progression of the person. The overall progression of the person. There is something I have really loved since I met Honorable Femi. He said he's planning his retirement. And when you're seeing the way he's pursuing it, you know that he's really planning. He's really planning it. Now, some of the things he's been learning over the years might not have been too practical. But as soon as he enters that shoe one day, everything will become like, has he been doing this thing all his life? It's not as though he has been doing it all his life, but he has been developing. He has a progression already in place. Okay, I'm here now. This is where I'm going, and these are the things I need to do to get to the next level. Okay, there could be somebody here now aiming at maybe want to be a head of training and development, his organization. You're not yet there, but you have intention of being there. Now you know that, okay, to be there, I think undertaking this course and understanding the codes and standards of training will be a good one for me. You are preparing yourself for the role ahead. Okay. Now training revolves around immediate or present needs, while development is futuristic, like I say. It follows a progression. Okay, it follows a progression. Now, training focuses on knowledge and skills enhancement for a particular job or role, while development focuses on career building and progression. During our alumni meeting, one of our alumni members said, I think he should be here, Engineering Feta. He's an engineer, but I said since he came into IPM, his eyes have been opened to understand that he can actually build a path, a management consulting. That is another progression that he's trying to build. Okay, you are not there, but you are working towards getting there, building a career for yourself. It's not a short-term event, it could be a long-term, long as 5 years, 10 years. To some, it might be more than that. But the more consistent you are with your development process, the better you get at the goals that you want to achieve. All right. Then another thing there is that training is more of group focused. Training is more of group focused. That's like what we're having now. It's more of group focused. But development is personalized. It's more of individual experience. Okay. All of us cannot have the same development plan. Okay. You have a development plan to move into full-time management consulting. Maybe I have a development plan to go just training only. Maybe I have a development plan to even become a public speaker. Another one has a development plan to be an international consultant. We all have different development plans, and it is our commitment to our development plans that will help us in achieving our goals. All right. Then the last but not the least, in training, organizations most often take care of the cost. In training, sometimes organizations can say, okay, let's pay for this person. But in development, you are the one responsible for your development. And that's why when we talk about training and development, we tell you that your organizations might be responsible for your training, but you're responsible for your development. What is the development? The development is that, yes, you've identified the career path you want to follow, and you are committed through training, through other development approaches to get there. Organization is interested in get trained. We said, go and learn how to couple this water or seal this water. Is that the career path you want to follow? If no, then you must be committed to building your own career path. Okay, you must be committed. That's why you see coaching and mentoring is more of a personalized experience, because that is the peak of the development program. When you come to the point that you know everything, but now it's how we put it together to make it work. Okay, that is the peak of the development process. And I think every trainer should work towards getting to that point of becoming a mentor or a coach. Okay, you can have one-on-one. You will be considered as a valuable asset, very, very valuable. You don't talk too much, but you get more results. You know, we trainers, we talk too much, but sometimes little results. Okay.
There is something you also get.
Yes.
You get on.
No, what I'm saying is a gradual process. So you come in and you want to be a trainer and development consultant, but don't just stop at training. You know, that's where the trap is. Some people stop at training. The development side of it, we don't really pay attention to it. The coaching, the mentoring, the counseling, we don't really pay more attention to it. And that is actually where the more money is and the less work is. More money is there and less work is there. I listened to someone, he said he spent 1 hour, 5 million. When he said that, I thought it was a joke. But I went believing on things. I said, okay, me too, one day.
15 minutes, 5 minutes.
So I now said, okay, I will get there. And I set my own target. And when I started my program like this, if I was to have a one-on-one session with someone, those days, like 1,000 naira, you spend the whole day 1,000 naira, maximum 4,000 naira, and you say a very big thank you to the person. Okay, then we grew a little, they were paying us 8,000. At some point, we grew to 12,000, 10,000, 12,000. Okay, and then at some point, we were getting better. Okay, but at some point, we discovered that it's not even, that one we were doing was struggling. You know, when people say we are hustling, that was what we were doing there. But as a trainer, you need to move up. You need to move up. Building all character, competency, knowledge. They call it packaging. No, whatever one you want to call it, but it is commitment to getting to where you want to go to. If it requires you taking extra courses, why not? If it requires you belonging to a professional body, why not? If it requires you joining a network of community of people, why not? And there's what he said that will come and go, and you need to remind me again.
It was Saturday night. I was Saturday. We are busy.
Was it SME?
No, it was last Saturday. The same Saturday we held the fellowship. I was there just 2 hours.
So if you have opportunities, if it's just to discover, are there books you need to read? Are there platforms you need to belong to? You know, I will share some tips with us as we progress. So to us in training and development, we need to pay attention. Please, those online, hope you're still seeing our screen. Please, if you're seeing our screen, kindly confirm by typing 11 in the chat room. Let's be sure that everyone, we are together. If we are together, please kindly type 11 in the chat room. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. Now, while I'm giving, or while we're taking this section, I will be giving some tips that will help us. Okay. You see, this training, this particular certification was originally organized only for those of us that want to join IPM faculty. I think we say that over and over again. But with time, we find that no, we'll be short-changing people. We have a whole lot of members. Not everybody must be a member of the faculty, but it's good we understand standards and codes and best practices when it comes to consulting. And some of us have already taken the management consulting program, waiting to launch. Okay, so, so we are waiting to launch. The question now is to some of us is, where do we even launch to sell? Where do we even start from? Your answer number one is that you can start from here. There are a whole lot of people making, let me not say millions on monthly basis, but they're making few hundreds of dollars, few thousands of dollars online. You can finish this program. There could have been some concepts in your heart. They'll be asking, how do you develop this? How do you develop this? How do you develop this? And let me finish this program. I started a course on relationship management, family life. She's here in Abuja. That lady is pulling crowd from COSA. Pulling crowd. She said, the only thing that I want to do is just family marriage. I don't like crisis in marriages. I don't like how husbands beat their wife and all of that. At the end of the day, people give birth to children. They don't know how to train them. So she went on, started developing herself. And then she started getting good at it. By the time she finished this program, she developed a full program for it. So you can take her program now online, or you meet them at Buzape. And she's doing well. So someone in this class now could finish this program and then go and start building on those things. In fact, by the time you're done here, you should have your content. You should have your what? Have your content. You could have your content on public speaking, like Honorable Femina that has been working tirelessly on retirement. You can go and develop your content on retirement progression. How do you retiring well? And you start marketing it. Let me tell you the truth. Even if you get only 50,000 in a month, it's better than nothing. And then, like you said, the honor that comes with it, the referral that comes with it. Now you train one person. The one person, the training was impactful to him or her. The person now went and told another person. The training was impactful to the two people that came. They now went, before you know it, you have a community to yourself. That's how it all started. You can have an online presence where you have your training. Decide how much you want to charge. Nobody's going to tell you you're charging too much, you're charging too small. You decide how much you want to charge. Develop your strategy on how you want to administer, transfer that learning, that knowledge that is packed in you. See, what somebody told me, said, training is blood money. You know, for those, no. Okay, for somebody that 15 minutes, you pay him 5 million. Is it not blood money? Okay. Now,
Speaking of break.
yes, literally, what it means is not like it's a big to get a quick scheme. What have get rich quick scheme. It's not really what I want to say. The thing is that before the person got there, he has built over time. There was a training that Brian Tracy came to Nigeria to organize some time ago, 160,000 per hour. And that training was organized by Airtel. Imagine the multitude of people that came. 160,000 naira per hour. And the session was, I think each session was for 50 persons. And they were having about 6 sessions that day. 6 sessions is 1 hour now. So he was having about 6 sessions. Now, 50 times 6 is 300. Yeah? 300 times 160. Is it not blood money? But it was built over time. That's why in training and development, consistency is key. It matters a lot. From beginning, you might be saying rubbish. you are it. One day somebody will come and say, so another person thought it was rubbish. Another, this is a good content. He now shares it. This is a good content. By the time you know it, you have a mail. We saw this. Can you come and give us a lecture on this? Well, why not? There was a man, when I did my training and development, we did training and development together. His office is just opposite as a barrister Theodore. Yeah. He was one of the barristers that served during the Oputa panel. Yes. During the Oputa panel, you see him there. Now, I was in his office one day. He said, this training, he never had any. He's a professor at Uni Abuja. He said he just wanted to add it. He didn't plan it for anything. But after the training, he decided to start public discussions, online public discussions. So what is the discussion about? He will structure how the questioning will go, then invite people because it's an online platform. And he said, one day he just got a call, whether I said it was from Dubai or England, one of the countries, that they like his perspective towards politics. He should come and teach them politics in their country. He said they paid his flight, they prepared his visa, paid his flight ticket, did everything. And when he was coming back, they still gave him $6,000. He didn't charge them. He said it was for free. His office is just opposite your barrister Miyaki. Okay, so those contents that have been in you have been asking how do you just look at how training and development goes, structure your program to that, and then start giving it out. You could choose to develop simple pages on Facebook, use Instagram, you can use YouTube. The ones that are, you don't even need an office. Okay, you don't need an office. You can brand yourself. And I say, Dr. Jesse Baba, you now put what you do. If you go, it was in 2019 that I had to know the name of the last company. All the while I've been reading his book, I follow him. I don't know the name of his company. I didn't know the name of his company, even now I've forgotten it. But what we know is Philanthropy. If you remove Philanthropy from that company and say the company is hosting the program, some of us might not even know, so we'll not go. But if we say Philanthropy is holding and remove the company, we'll go. Because there had been a brand. Okay, there had been so all of us can, in the same vein, build to such capacity. Okay, all of us can build to such capacity. You could be an engineer asking, what can you do? You know, some people already have masters in construction management. Some people have masters in piping, oil piping and designs. Some people, different kind of knowledge. But the question is, how do I now get it to? How do I get it to the people who use it? Just develop a training content. And remember, training is short. If you make it long, you're your own. It's short. So if it is piping, for instance, you can say module 1, you teach them how to fix pipes. And you'll be shocked.
Let's identify pipes.
Identifying pipes. Module 1. Okay. Pipes and purposes. Okay.
Input pipe, outside pipe.
And then you use your social media is in level 2 that will talk about marketing of training program. But let's say you now use your social media and start pushing them. People start getting interested. Somebody came in here one day and said he was looking for training on piping. I called one of our members, Engineer Thaddeus at Petroleum Trading Institute. He said for workshop, they don't have, or for certification, they don't have a course like that, but they have masters in that. So if you want to come and take a degree program, you can have that. But the person is not interested in, maybe, I think the person is working with Dangote. Is it Dangote? Yes, short, sharp, and he has results. Okay. And if Engineer Thaddeus is in this class now, he can listen to me now. I don't know whether he can. He can go and start developing short modules, pipe and purpose. Then laying of pipe, how to lay pipe. You now begin to explain the engineering behind all those things, technically, and things that have relevance. When you go online, I find that people are learning so many things. Learning how to drink water. Now I say drink 1 cup in the morning, drink 1 cup in the evening. Even if you're thirsty, after you drank 1 cup, don't drink again. And people are paying to learn it.
People want to learn everything.
I'm telling you. Okay.
Everything.
People are learning everything.
I'm one of them. As soon as we finish the meeting yesterday, we have discussion in the morning.
Yes.
We have the fellow in the afternoon. In the evening by 6, I was on another training on data analysis.
Can you imagine?
Right, that one was going on. There's this lady, Tammy, on coaching.
Okay, yes.
I had to be on a program again. I switched from data. Because you want to learn everything.
Yeah.
You are in the world of knowledge base. And if you don't flow, if you don't belong, you can't flow.
I'm telling you. And now that digital economy is running
things.
That has become the new oil well.
That was when you asked me what was the development training in my place. I said my development training in my organization is more like welfare like this. They just look at it as okay, go training, come and go for training, Maraba, they collect 30,000 naira. It's not training. And it's like what you did when you went for procurement. You now go down and pick PRS, public service, and can start telling you punishment. And they say you have built a capacity.
That's it.
So it's left, the only left on each and one of us to develop ourselves. If you don't develop yourself and you feel government or your organization, you will not be that organization for life.
Yes, it's been recorded. It's been recorded. So
you can learn on them.
it's a recorded stuff.
Because you don't want anybody to, you don't want to be in movies when someone is talking. And I say, in this 24th century.
So every one of us, whether you're in class or online, by the end of this training, you should have, in fact, you should create your own income stream with that. To some of us, it could be income stream. To some of us, it could be impact stream. To some of us, it could be a marketing avenue. But you just have to come up with something. Every one of us have something to train on. Talk of IT, somebody is willing to train you on Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access. There are some of us that are very good on
Office 360.
Office 360, Enterprise, whatever.
Business intelligence, Power BI.
Several of us, several. Some of us now are good in this data science. Some even have masters in it now. Okay. So why will you keep all this bundle of knowledge yourself? You want to bust? You cannot just keep it. Okay, before you could become a doctor, sir, you would have turned paper upside down, read from side, read from all sides. There are several things you know. You know, one thing about knowledge is that when knowledge becomes common to you, see, everybody should know it. At this point, I want to let us know something. Don't ever come to the point of assuming that everybody knows it. Even if everybody knows it, there are people that still don't know it. So let's start from there. Okay, let's start from there. Okay, so from Dr. Taiwo said it means that it has not been recorded since. No, we have been streaming it, so it is recording on YouTube. Okay, so it is being streamed. So you have it on YouTube. Now, what's the need for training and development? For effective change management? In this era we are, if people still say there is no employment, then that means there is a problem somewhere. Facebook only has more than 3 billion people. No country has, maybe China or perhaps India. They have such kind of population. China, right?
is the most populated, followed by.
But no, Facebook said they have up to 4 billion rather.
China.
No, Facebook.
Okay, Facebook, yes.
Yes, 4 billion people. 4 billion. Oh. Okay, that's that, and you have us. That's like almost the whole world. The world is about roughly 8 billion, except we have increased. That's roughly 8 billion now. Now you have access to a platform that can give you 4 billion out of 8 billion. Now let's imagine that out of that 4 billion, you're able to get 1,000 people. Just 1,000. So no, 0.1 will still be very big, very big. So let's just say, okay, even if you have 50 people, 50 people maybe every month, 50 people who are interested in learning what you're giving them. You will still have added to the knowledge base and to the improvement system of the general economy. Okay? So that is very, very important. So for effective change management, if there is no job, now you have opportunity to create more for yourself. Okay? You create more for yourself.
In the area of training and development, I think there is still room.
Of course.
Like you just said about piping. Somebody who led building in school and understand piping.
Very well.
And so if I want to teach how to pipe, okay, you can simply say how to resolve your money work at the one. What is one? Because sometimes you in the bedroom and suddenly you want to lock your tap and it just refuses to lock.
That's right.
And the water starts flowing. By the time you understand, like I have an issue right now, I'm looking for a plumber to solve an issue.
And if you have a course of that, now you go and take it.
I will, doctor, I will.
Oh my God.
You don't want to be messed up.
Yeah.
So from the 101, they will force them. But then so one of them, this is causes doodle, and that's okay. How to fix your pipe? What is it? What are the materials to use? Where you can get before you leave people through your wage.
So if we now look at it critically, we'll find that the training and development industry is an industry with endless opportunities. If you know something, then somebody needs what you know. Okay. If you know something, somebody needs what you know. All right. So everyone from this time on forever, you are permitted to go and basically while we do employee training. They will have transfer of knowledge. Yes, for effective transfer of knowledge. Some of us know, but we don't know how to transfer the knowledge. That's what is keeping some of us. Like I said, to do BSc now, to do SSCE. Some people did SSCE, NCE, BSc. So they did BL first. They now move to BSc. They now do MEd. No, they did PGD, MEd. They did masters. They now did PhD. Do you know the volume of knowledge you've acquired by following this progression?
We are talking about someone like me. I did OND.
Okay.
I did SC. Went for BSc. Went for masters. Then other various certification.
Diploma, CGD. So with this kind of knowledge, I used to tell people whenever I have opportunity to talk to trainers, I said if you did a course in school. Let's say, for instance, I did food science and technology, and we did those 80 courses just showed you 80 ways to solve problems. Now let's assume now, like in this place now, by this diet, this year we are bringing a course on food security. It's an ISO standard.
That's why you have to. No business.
Okay. Now, food security is just a course. How do they call it now? Like what is FSC 102, FSC 103? Just like it's not a full blown.
It's like compulsory required.
Now, when I sat down and I began to look at the profile of the lecturers in my department, till date, it's only one person that is a certified food scientist. Only one person. Only one, and that person is my mentor. Okay. I will have professors we have doctors. So I was now wondering, I said, why is it that they don't pay attention to that? For the fact that they don't pay attention to that, that simply means that students, they will just take the course to pass. But food security is a major challenge. It's not in Nigeria only, it's a global challenge. Okay, now imagine what will happen by the time we start running that course. I'm not forgetting ISO whatsoever. Food security.
I did that actually because of people who are not doing business.
Okay.
The master. Part of the courses is what food security.
Food security. Yeah, food security and sustainability. Yes. Okay, so now if you are a food scientist like me, because we moved from food science to management. Okay. Now if you're a food scientist like me, you can look at those things. There is no course in food science that is not applicable and practical. About 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago, my wife was saying that she has, this is my food science, that she has not seen the impact of this food science. I said, okay, today I will shock you. And I said, I will produce yogurt. It was like, look, I have a witness that drank my yogurt. Full-blown yogurt. I prepared about 15 liters of yogurt. We were buying, was it 15 or 10? 10. Yeah, 10 liters. We were buying 1 liter for 1.6 from Habib yogurt. But when I prepared my own, one, it was homemade. The hygiene was there. Everything was in order. I gave some out now. I gave him as part of the people who witnessed.
Challenge.
Okay.
The challenge.
My wife drank and believed. My elder sister was there. My wife was there. And I used some bottles as first fruit. I went and gave my pastors. When I the next day, now I said, did you drink the yogurt? He said, yes, the Habib yogurt was nice. I said, it wasn't Habib, it was homemade.
And that's another area.
Okay.
By the time you do that now, brand it, give it a name. And you have started with.
See, we know so many things. We just know so many. When he finished drinking, he was like, he's going to help me make inquiry on how to get plastic bottles and cocktail and all of that. I get fridge and all of that. I said, no problem. I've gotten an investor. But the point of it is that we know so many things. Yes. And not just knowing so many things, we know so many relevant things. That yogurt I produced, I used 6,000 naira to produce 10 bottles. And there was no artificial sweetener. They were all natural sweeteners. But now my yogurt, if you have infertility issue and you take that yogurt, it must come alive. You know, part of the things we did in food science, I was telling them, I said, there is something we call nutraceuticals, using food as drugs. Okay, and yogurt is one powerful, food drug. If well done and prepared, since the issue of infertility, all this heartburn, indigestion, cholesterol, fiber issues, yogurt can deal with those things. And you're free, light. Okay?
Yeah.
Light. So by the time we start taking a course now of food security, people will see it as relevant. So business sustainability, food sustainability also. Okay. Now another thing there is enhancing organizational productivity, then gain strategic and competitive advantage, and then for succession planning. All of these reasons, or all of these needs, and even more are the basics for which organizations bring in training. We had a training in Port Harcourt, January, and one of the basics of that training was for succession planning. The organization has been in existence for 12 days, but their board management has been shaky. Okay, their board management has been shaky. So they invited us, and we had 3 tiers training. One training for low level, middle management, and then the top management. Okay, and the truth is, You cannot use the word of top management to teach. If you teach to know, they won't even understand what you're saying. What are you trying to say? Okay, maybe you want us to use it in our own business. The most challenges into organizations that people will go for trainings or organizations. After they are done, staff will not believe it. Is that you taught them the wrong thing at the right time. Okay, you taught them the right thing at the wrong time. Okay, how can you go and be teaching entrepreneurship in a workplace and then you're challenging people that you can fire your boss? When you're done now and go, you'll start receiving resignation later. All right. Okay. So all of these reasons and more are the reasons why organizations do this. Now, Mr. Ademi, if you have the time, join us in class. Okay. I know you are very busy in your office, but if you have the all these people in Abuja, people should better come in class. Okay. Now, what are the benefits? Benefit of training and development: have optimum utilization of human resources, enhances skill development, increases productivity, improves organizational culture, improves quality and safety. Yes, this is very key. Quality and safety. Training can help you maintain health and safety conditions within the workplace. Then increase profitability, improves the company's morale and corporate image, and then boosts team trust and motivation. Now, you as a trainer, now let's go back a little. You as a trainer, let's go to that need. These are some of the needs anyway. Now, let's assume you want to do employee development training or corporate training. You can decide to pick any of these areas as, okay, I am going to be training organizations on change management. That's if you have competencies in that area. I'm going to be training on what? Change management. And then you begin to unravel the mystery of change in every aspect of the organization. Change management in HR, change management in marketing, change management in operations, change management in strategy development. By the time you begin to take that particular angle, it is easy for anybody someday searching for who to teach them change management. They know who to meet. Another person goes, okay, let me talk on performance improvement, employee performance improvement. Maybe you have also gathered competencies on performance improvement, organizational productivity, ethical behaviors, and all of that. Then you develop concise materials, curriculum, and you begin to market it. Another person goes, okay, let me even teach organizations how to transfer knowledge. All those people in training and development, all those supervisors, all those managers, you know, by default, every supervisor is a trainer. Every manager is a trainer. Every HOD is a trainer. Now, by default, every director is a mentor, whether he likes it or not. Every PAMSEC is a mentor. Every DG is a mentor. All of those top leadership people, they are in the categories of mentors. Okay, so you can choose as, okay, let me even teach how to transfer knowledge. As a mentor, how to transfer knowledge. As a coach, how to transfer knowledge. Another person goes, okay, let's look at organizational productivity. We have a center in Nigeria called National Productivity Center. I was reading through their ads. One of their major goals is national productivity. First of all, how to boost individual productivity that will rub off on the national productivity. I'm like, this is serious. And I'm privileged to know the DG 101. Now he said, when he came into National Productivity Center as a youngster, they traveled as far as China to go and learn productivity. How are they doing it? How is it that everybody in China is productive? Okay. Before they came back to Nigeria, and said every now and then they go to training, they go to Dubai. Last induction, he was supposed to be there, but he traveled to Dubai. Every now and then they are going, they learn, but we need implementation now. Okay, but they are trying anyway. So somebody can say, okay, even personal problem, you know, one of the reasons this whole suicide thing, Yahoo plus and Yahoo minus, ritualism is increasing, is because people lack personal productivity concept. They don't even know how to be productive to themselves. People have come to the point of thinking that money is the reason for existence. So how to make the money is what they are looking for. Make it by all means. And now we've come to an economy of lack of patience. Personal productivity, they don't even know what is hard work. They don't even know what it means to sit down. Okay, so you want to make money. Why do you want to make money? They don't even know. So that's the problem. Another person goes, okay, let's even, for me, I will be organizing conferences yearly on personal productivity, personal and national productivity. Let's have a reorientation of culture. Let's have a reorientation of belief. Let's have personal discoveries. That was what we did in Africa Leadership and Entrepreneurship Conference 2021. Okay, and we are doing it again this year, but this year will be in class and very fast. Okay, then another person will say, okay, let me teach organizations of strategy and another one, let me teach organizations of succession planning. Now that you're retiring, how do you retire? You are the CEO, you're moving, you're handing over to somebody. How do you manage your other life after? How do you know the kind of people to groom to even come to this position? All of these things are top level needs for training. Okay, so all of us need to pay attention to all of this. All of us need to pay attention to all of this. Now, if the need we mentioned is not the need you've identified is not among the ones we've mentioned there, find your own. Maybe your own need will be, it will still boil down on productivity. Maybe teaching people on the e-economy, teaching people on freelancing, teaching people on any other thing you want to country, agriculture. Okay. Now, before we go on break, let's know if there's any question, any contribution. We'll be going to break by 12, and then we'll be returning by 1. Okay, we're going to break by 12, and we'll be returning by 1. Please, we'll be taking attendance after the second session, so please ensure to be around to take your attendance in the next session. The class will be ending by 3, so tomorrow's class will be starting earlier. CMD faculty is starting their classes tomorrow. So from tomorrow till Thursday, they'll be having the sessions. And then on Friday, we'll round up with micro presentation. Okay, any contribution, any question, men and brethren, it has been a wonderful time. We currently have 36 people on ground. That's lovely. 36 people on ground and 4 people in class. All these people in Abuja, I'm not joking. If you're in Abuja, Pastifi, Andeyemi, all of you know yourself. If you're in Abuja, make sure you find yourself here. If not, we'll make online participation for Abuja people the same with physical participation. Okay. All right. Please, you have questions. You have questions. Contributions, please. Let's share briefly before we go for break. It's going on.
Long one.
Okay, please, questions, contributions. Someone is raising his hand. Thank you. Please, Mr. Ishmael, kindly unmute and let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Banito, for your presentation.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, my question, the first one have to do with I have a little confusion in my mind about academic and the profession. I don't know why some people or some organizations are not really interested or don't want to employ professionals direct. When you look at the job advert in the newspapers and all this, you realize that they are looking for maybe MSc in the HR engineering. Maybe if you have a professional body certification is added advantage. So I just want to know why they don't go straight and say we are taking professionals or you want to recruit professionals into our organization. That is a little confusion I have in my mind about the whole setting. And then the second one is not a question, but it's my own personal peculiar reservation I want to put before you. If I can do it offline, that's okay, or to your WhatsApp page, that will be okay with me.
All right, that would be wonderful. Okay,
Right,
so the question on why do they not employ professionals directly? Okay, when organizations have different recruitment patterns and plans, one of the reasons organizations don't go ahead recruiting professionals, one of them is to cut costs. So even if you're a professional, they don't want to include that part. But when you come in and you're a professional, you become an added advantage to them. They may pay you a little more to retain you. But if it becomes part of the recruitment process, then there are standard labor laws that require them or put it on them to pay you according to certain requirements. So to avoid that, they try to be on a safer side. However, if you have your professional certifications, they better off get you engaged than the person who doesn't have.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
And then to some others, well, I say it's part of politics. Some organizations say it's part of politics, internal politics. Okay. But I know those who really, I know private organizations, when they are hiring, they will tell you, okay, PMP is another advantage, HR is another advantage, if you have social license is another, some specified. Maybe because it has become requirement for their running or somehow it's part of their own proceedings.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so those of us in the online community, how has been the training so far? Now let's hear from you. Do you have questions? Do you have? I saw somebody's hand up before. Are you learning something? Please remember, we are going on break by 12, and then we are returning by 1. So we'll close the meeting immediately, 12 o'clock, and then resume by 1. All right? Okay, so do we have questions? Do we have contributions and all of that? Someone is saying something in the chat room. I think May is saying something there. She said, true, a lot of companies shy away from trainings, believing that the staff will go with the knowledge. Okay, but really it could be a 50-50 thing. Pay part and company pay part. Yes, some organizations do that. Okay, so far so good. Can someone help us? What, for you as a potential training and development professional, what have you learned so far? If you were to do training differently now, if you are to do training, what do you think you've learned a little here that will add to what you have? Okay. While we are doing that, 12 o'clock is running so fast. So someone said, I must confess, very interesting and full of impact. Okay, apart from that, if you're a trainer, what has been different? If you're a public speaker, have you gotten something? Okay, Iroro, is this Barrister Iroro Agari?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wonderful. Good morning, Mr. Valito.
Good to have you around.
Right, same here. As in, it's always a delight listening to you. It's amazing how you effortlessly churn out knowledge, and these things are really deep. God bless you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
So I think one of the takeouts for me currently at this point is trying to. You just showed me 3 cadres of people within any organization. Obviously, I ought to know, but it just came back home now. You have executive level, middle level, and junior level. So if I want to start teaching if I want to start training people at the lower level, like as well, I'm training those at the middle level or the executive level, it's like putting a square peg in the round hole. All right, so that has really rubbed off. For as a person, I mean, I like cutting across board, but it will help me to really identify who is it I'm addressing until I make my trainings and presentations to suit that particular niche. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister Iroro Agari. I think I saw your missed call one of the days I was in class that I asked you to send me test. You forgot me. Okay. All right. From the chat room, I'm seeing from Jason Baba, I say you need to do training needs analysis first. Okay. From Jason too, he say you also need to segment your training audience. Okay, so that's in line with Barrister Gary. Now from Mahensha, I said training is core if one as a professional needs to keep with industry trends. I personally don't joke with personal development, and I encourage everyone around me to invest in training. Okay, so that's for personal. Now, as a training and development professional, prospective or incumbent, what have you learned so far? Our time is remaining, is it up to 12 minutes? 1 minute. Okay, please be reminded, we are returning by 1 p.m. So go and take your snacks, go and take your food. We're returning by 1, and then we are closing the class by 3. So by 3, that's when we'll pass the attendance. Please, there are 2 things you have to do today. You have to take your attendance, and then you evaluate the trainer. So we'll send you 2 links, evaluating the trainer, evaluating the training, and then taking your attendance. All right. Please, let's also be reminded that this training is non-examination based training. So you don't need to bother yourself about exam. Then thirdly, we through this first day open, we had 168 people or thereabout who registered, and there have been messages upon messages for us to open the floor for people to attend at least, and then let them have at least the feel of it. And I think we are doing that today. So if you still wish to continue with the training, please, we need you to make your commitment. All right. The account number and every other thing has been passed severally. So please, you can do the needful, and then we'll proceed from there. The certificates will be made ready by the first week of March. So all payments will be required to be completed on or before, is it 30th of March or 1st of March? March. February, yes.
Yes, 28th of February.
28th of February, so by month end, right? Okay, thank you so much. It is 12 noon. Thank you, and see you by 12. Do have a wonderful time. But sorry, by 1. See you by 1. The class is available on YouTube, so we'll get the link and share to everyone so that in case you came very early,